Hello everybody, this is a quick update on my Ice Shot Ritualist build from last time. I just wanted to show a few things to increase the damage. As you can see here, our sheet DPS has gone up significantly. I believe when I made the last video we were around maybe 120 or so K. Now we have reached over 200K. And quite honestly, this has been a pretty big investment. So now we're talking about optimizing with some of the higher priced items. But I just wanted to see how far I can push this reasonably without giving up the defense. So I still want to keep my defense high, but I did make a few changes. You see the support gems are still the same, so I did not just get cheap additional damage by changing any of the supports. Instead, we changed some of the equipment and the skills to get a bit more damage out of this. Some of the smaller changes has been a new helmet here that has the critical hit chance. That is maybe 10k additional damage. For me, that's a very high investment here because the corruption of the plus spirit makes these kind of helmets with high energy shield and crit hit chance extremely expensive. I think this one here probably cost over 300 divine. Yeah, so it's going pretty crazy. I made some good sales of some bows, so I had a bit of currency to waste, and so you can see some of these higher value upgrades just to try and see where we can go with this. Um, I did craft myself a new amulet that has crit hit chance now as well. I think I did not have that last time, so that's a little bit more damage here. I got insanely lucky on this one. Um, I got the projectile skill fractured. I chaos spammed it for spirit. That was easy. And then I exalted it with perfect exalts. I believe I got crit chance and all elemental resistances with two exalts. Yeah, just lucky there. Honestly, crafting this season for me is more luck than skill, especially because all the omens and everything you need now, Omen of Light or Whittling or whatever, are fucking expensive. I haven't crafted much because I just don't want to spend 20 divines on a fucking reroll. It's crazy. Anyway, that was lucky. But so these are the two minor changes. The larger change is that I put in now the Rite of Passage gem here with the Spirit of the Owl, and that one costs, when I bought it, like 350 divines or so. Today, I think it might be even more. This gem helps us because it gives us damage, but also because it gives us energy shield. When this gem is active, charm, not gem, sorry guys. When this charm is active, I get 60% more energy shield, and I have pretty much 100% uptime on this while mapping or doing any kind of temple activities or whatever, because we kill rares all the time, right? So this is pretty much always active, and this allowed me to reduce my sheet energy shield from about 4,300 down to about 3,700 or even 600 now, as you can see. But once the charm is active, we're back to a bit more than 4,000 energy shield. So I'm not giving up my energy shield, but I could change my passives a little bit to take out some energy shield on by default because my charm is now giving it to me. And what that enabled me to do is use the tech with the Levenge's Spirits mana flask. You can see I have this mana flask here in the life flask spot. What you do is you wear this belt here, and then you put your flask into the slot, you remove the belt again, and now your flask is here. You can't use it, so you can't press any button, but it counts. So it's actually active here, which is probably a bug that will be patched out, but right now it works. So you see I have mana recovery per second from Flask. I have 26 mana every second, which helps a bit with my mana cost because you can see here that I'm regenerating, quite fast after using it. That's one little benefit, but what this allows me to do is I can now play passives like Imbibe Power here, attack speed and damage. And I skilled down here and went for the Crystal Elixir node with 40% increased elemental damage as well. Um, I did get another jewel socket here that I didn't have previously because I stopped up here before, so I added this branch of my passives. What I gave up for it is up here the energy shield. Before I pathed up here and went for patient barrier, and you see here 60% increased maximum energy shield, and that's exactly the 60% I'm getting back from my charm. So I basically traded pathing up here for the charm, and that allowed me to steal back some of these passive points and go for some of these mana flask passives here and here, which is a really nice damage increase. Um, I believe I also had to make some minor changes. I think I used this node before here. Um, that's okay. The increased evasion rating doesn't hurt so much here to lose it. So I just optimized a tiny bit around these nodes. Ideally, I would like to get here stimulants, 16% increased attack speed during flask effect, but right now I do not have a good way of getting that done. My Megalomaniac gives me Fate Finding for the Herald, because I am still playing the, where is it, up here, Herald of Ice, together with the Herald of Thunder. And I still play then here the Coming Calamity for the 40% cold damage while affected by Herald of Ice. And I really don't want to give that up because it's actually quite a bit of damage. Can we see that maybe? My Ice Shot at 202,000. If I turn off the Herald of Ice, I go all the way down 190. But the Herald of Ice, the explosion is also good for clearing the screen, so it feels much worse playing without the Herald of Ice. So one option is, instead of the Megalomaniac here, I can use a kind of a donut gem, right? I can get this one here, the Biting Frost, and I can get the stimulants from the Against the Darkness jewel. But then I lose my Fate Finding Megalomaniac, and then I do not have enough spirit to run my Herald of Ice. So right now I somehow don't have a way to get stimulants in it. If I find the Megalomaniac on the market that has a few good nodes, maybe I could add this. That will be further damage. Also, maybe the Crystal Elixir could go on a Megalo, for example. You can save a few points here. Like, there is a few options, but it kind of depends what kind of jewel you can find on the market, because it kind of gets constrained here what you can do. I do not have any skill points. I am level 98 right now. I do not think. I mean, I can make level 99 with some temple runs, but that's about it, right? And I don't know what other skill point in the passive tree here I would take out. I do not want to give up here the energy shield or this one or the damage here. Like, there's no easy points for me to give up right now that I think I would rather give up to get my attack speed here. Just pure damage. I don't need more damage. Damage is fine. So yeah, that's the main update. What else did I do? I did put in a Prism of Belief with 2 level of all Ice Shot skills. Of course, this is now also fucking expensive. I think I paid about 250 divines for this. I think today it's much higher again. It's ridiculous. And the +3 is, I don't even know, thousands, I think, of divines, which I don't have. So yeah, it would be nice, of course. But this is some nice damage here, right? Also a bit more mana, so you always need to balance the mana costs, right? But in the end, this is a good one. I don't know if I had this one here before. I have a double corrupted Kadiros. So now I have a bit of critical damage. That's a bit of damage. But also here, the mana per enemy killed is really nice, quite honestly. For mapping, for trash clearing, this helps with mana. I did upgrade my rings, just optimize a little bit the damage, the rarity, and make sure my resistances are always nearly capped. You see, I didn't quite manage the chaos resistance yet, but I don't know, I don't remember where. I think this one I already had last time. This one is probably new, adding a bit of chaos res in there. And this one, I'm not sure. It might be new as well. Just minor changes, optimizing rarity, damage, and resistances, but nothing critical. So the critical changes indeed was that I switched to this flask. Now the only problem is I have no life flask. So if I catch like a bleeding or something, or if I get ignited, I need to leech life to refill my life. The way I do that is that on the um, on the freezing mark, I have the mark of siphoning, which allows me to leech life. So if I see my life dropping, I need to mark an enemy with a freezing mark and kill him to leech back my life. That's the only way I can currently refill my life. So it is a bit risky playing like that, and you do need to keep an eye on your life. Sometimes when it starts dropping and you're kind of fighting and you don't notice, it can get a bit hairy, and you do need an enemy to mark and kill so that you can refill the life. There is no more oh shit life button here, right? The life potion is gone. So yeah, it has gotten me once or twice where I had to escape to the loading screen because I just couldn't refill my life and it was slowly dropping and I was getting low here. So I escaped to the loading screen, character selection screen, and went back in to fix that. I know it's a bit of cheating, but what can you do? Um, so yeah, it is a bit risky running without a life flask. Maybe having somewhere some life on kill or a bit of life leech would be nice. Maybe on one of the rings I could go instead of mana, maybe go for some life just to have a little bit of life coming in constantly without having to use a freezing mark. So for me, the freezing mark right now is the only way, but it works well enough. And with the high evasion that we have here in town, already at 77%, we don't get hit that much. It is okay. Quite honestly, this is pretty safe still to play. I rarely die. I rarely get one hit. So the energy shield, including the charm and no life flask, it works. As you know, I like to be on the safe side with my defenses, and this works for me still. Also, having here an Orman of Resurgence is quite useful. If your life really starts dropping, it usually gets you one full bulb before you get in trouble. So I did use a few of those when my life suddenly started dropping and I didn't notice in time. But that's mostly me not paying attention. If you have it under control, you can leech it back. It's not a problem. So I think that's the build update. It plays very nicely with that damage. It kills everything that is there in seconds. I have no issues playing the build in any content. And let's not make the video any longer than it has to be. Thanks for listening and talk to you soon.